Hi, my name is Dr. Glenn Fink. I'm the author of the new book, The Gospel, God's Great Undoing, Your Part in God's Unfolding Strategy from Creation Until Today. It's coming out this fall, so look for it in November. This time, we're going to talk about discontentment one more time. Last time we talked about discontentment as the devil's secret weapon to keep us fighting each other instead of resisting him. He's the real problem, but instead he deflects it on us and we fight each other like bugs in a jar. This time, we're going to talk about the devilish philosophies that he uses to make discontentment into a global weapon of domination against mankind. So there's a couple of them I'm going to talk about, but here's three of them real quick. Evolutionism is one great one. That is the struggle for life and resources. It's the survival of the fittest, and it's a struggle for survival. It means competition, absolutely everything competition. So we're always, your loss is my gain. That's the second one too, the zero-sum game. That means that if you have something good, then I don't get to have it. And if I get something good, then you don't get to have it. And so we're always in competition for this limited pool of resources. And this isn't actually true because we can create more resources as it turns out. But in this chaos economy, we have this zero-sum game, and evolutionism tells us that we are definitely at odds with one another to struggle and survive as the fittest. And then Marxism is based on some of these philosophies. Marxism believes in class warfare and says that classes need to clash in order to create justice. Basically, it redefines inequality as injustice. It says unless you're equal, you don't have justice. And that's not exactly true. Not everybody has to be exactly equal. That's egalitarianism to have justice. But class warfare in Marxism is designed to redistribute the wealth by force. And I mean, if you really want to find a way to get people at each other's throats, why don't you just tell them they exist in different classes? I have friends in India, and there was the caste system, which is very harmful, and it caused people to be untouchables and caused people to be very high Brahmins and stuff like that. And you were born into this caste and you couldn't get out of it, and so therefore it was like ready-made racism, just ready to go. And that turned out to not be a really good thing. And now the government's trying to reverse it by punishing those in high classes and elevating those in lower classes. But it's just more of the same thing. You see, forced redistribution or doing things by force like that, this is something the governments, they tend to do over and over again. And the forced redistribution of goods, not only does it create more injustice because something that you worked for could be taken away from you and given to somebody who might even not be willing to work. It also takes away any idea of altruism or any idea of virtue. It negates any virtue. If I'm rich and you're poor, then me giving to you is something that's just expected. I should just do it. And there's no virtue anymore. It robs the virtue and it creates injustice. It gives to people who sometimes aren't even ready to receive. And we see this all over the place in society these days. You saw the AOC's famous tax the rich dress when she's actually really pretty well to do. And I can't remember the recent TikTok influencer who's saying, yeah, make the rich pay, soak the rich and stuff like that. And he's making $200,000 a month. Wow, what rampant hypocrisy. But the problem is, it's all about this class warfare. And see how this warfare actually gets us to fight each other when the devil is the real problem. The problem is not black or white, blue or red, rich or poor. The problem is the devil, and we need to be fighting him and loving each other. So there's this idea that jealousy and strife are supposed to be somehow good. Jealousy is class warfare and strife between classes is good. But jealousy and strife are anti-biblical ways to solve problems. They don't achieve justice at all. Two wrongs don't make a right. So there's actually two ways to go about this, right? We can either conquer hearts with love, or we can force equality through law. And force is the only equalizer in the chaos economy because there is no love. But God is love. His justice is inseparable from his mercy. That means God's justice means that the same righteous standard of law is applied equally to all, and mercy is applied with it because God's justice and his mercy are inseparable. So you're not going to see God treating people unjustly. They might be treated differently. There's a difference between justice and fairness. Fairness says everything has to be equal. Justice says things are different, but they're according to a common good standard, and that is how God runs his kingdom. So what I want to get from this video is the way that the world solves problems just makes more problems, and it gets us at each other's throats. And instead of conquering evil with more evil, it's like bringing more fire to a house fire. This is not helping anybody. Instead, we need to be bringing God's love to solve the problem of evil and injustice in the world. Next time, we're going to talk about what this leads to, the division that causes us as a society and as a race to fall. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you. Do you have questions about creationism or about society, morals, the Bible? Be happy to answer them if you just put them down there in the post below. And please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share these videos with your friends. And be on the lookout for the book that's coming out in the fall, The Gospel, God's Great Undoing, hopefully coming out in November to bookstores near you. It's going to be on Amazon first. So God bless you. Look for the book, and I will see you next time.